If you not do anything, no problem, right? You all agree? But if you do a mission, if you do a great thing, there will be big problems. But at no time, you should allow problem to be your captain or a master. Who should become the master of the problem and defeat the problem and succeed.
Humble, compassionate, and a visionary, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has made a mark as one of India's most beloved presidents. Here's a look at his journey from newspaper vendor to India's 11th president through a series of rare interviews.
Youth is a very powerful resource. So ignited mind of the youth is the most powerful resource on the earth, above the earth, under the earth.
Avul Pakir Jainul Abdin Abdul Kalam was born on October 15, 1931 in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu. As a young boy, he sold newspapers to support his family. He earned a BSc in physics and went on to study aerospace engineering at the Madras Institute of Technology.
I want to become a pilot. I had a dream to become a pilot. And I went in 1958 for pilot selection, pilot selection. And so I was not selected because 9 candidates they wanted. I was a 10th fellow. If one fellow medically something problem, I would have got it, but everybody fortunately got through, so I was not selected. So it was it was really, when you are a young fellow, you get a disappointment. But disappointment should not defeat you. Then afterwards, instead of flying in the aircraft, I started making aircraft and rockets and missiles.
Kalam did that at the DRDO and spent some time working at the Indian National Committee for Space Research under Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. In 1969, Kalam transferred to ISRO, where he led innovations in space exploration, leading to India's entry into the prestigious Space Club.
In 1979, we launched a satellite launch vehicle to put a satellite in the orbit, Satellite in the orbit. And instead of satellite putting in the orbit, the whole rocket went into Bay of Bengal, 1979, it was a failure, But what happened, the type of, I had at that time Professor Satish Dhawan, he was my chairman, and we were very busy. Why the failure took place? We worked hard for 3 months and found out there's a reason for the failure, and we corrected, and nation was prepared for the failure. And then next year, by July 1980, we launched the SLV-3 satellite launch vehicle. The Rohini satellites went into orbit. It's a success.
When we have Mars mission, or when we say send Chandrayaan or ASLV, PSLV, GSLV, etc., it's all a team of hundreds of people. You have to keep them sort of charged. And he was a great, I would say, electrifying sort of personality who got everyone together.
Kalam was awarded the Padma Bhushan in 1981. He then headed India's premier missile program, where he helped develop legendary rockets like Agni and Prithvi, earning him the nickname Missile Man of India and the Padma Vibhushan in 1990. From 1992 to 1997, he served as scientific advisor to the defense minister. It was under his tutelage that India tested nuclear missiles like Pokhran-2, establishing India's standing as a nuclear state.
Indian history, at no time have you seen, I will ask all of you, 2,500 years, any time in Indian history have we invaded any country, but reverse has stopped. So many countries have invaded us the last 2,500 years. So our work, whatever we are doing for self, that is our national security.
In 1997, he was awarded India's highest civilian honor, the Bharat Ratna. Kalam also came to be known for his humane approach to science. In 1998, he developed a low-cost coronary stent with cardiologist Soma Raju. Later in 2012, they went on to develop a tablet computer to aid rural healthcare.
We were involved, myself was involved with him not only in the technical activities but also in social activities. We were trying to see how science education can be propagated in the rural areas, in the villages.
In 2001, Kalam went the academic route, teaching technology at the Anna University in Chennai. But destiny had other plans for him. In 2002, the NDA nominated him as a presidential candidate. His candidature was backed by wide political consensus, and he won by a massive margin, becoming the first scientist and the first bachelor to occupy India's highest office.
I was not dreaming to be here. I was a professor. But definitely when I came here, when I came here, you know,
Yes.
you are not in a position to walk.
No, no,
Definitely,
yes.
what happened is when I came here, I felt first thing I spent nearly about a year
Yes.
visiting most of the states and union territories.
You visited every state of the country.
Every state. So that clearly gave me a picture. What are the dreams of people and what are the problems of people?
With his humility and accessibility, Kalam came to be known as a people's president.
Brought this musical fountain, herbal garden, biodiversity.
There are 12
park.
gardens. Yeah.
What was the purpose? What was the aim?
Purpose is, it is the people's Bhavan. They must be proud of it, you know. They must be proud of this place.
But people have no access to Rashtrapati Bhavan.
No, a million people visit in a year. That is a long ago. Now, nearly a million people visit.
Kalam's interest in developing India's youth and frequent interactions with them led to people affectionately calling him Kalam Chacha.
Children believe that India can become a developed nation. That is, we can do it. That's number one. Number two, they have a less bias in the world because you are just growing, your bias factor is low. Number three, you have got enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is a big force for the growth of the nation.
During his tenure as president, Kalam rejected one mercy plea out of 21 submitted to him.
No, take away a life is a very tough job. So we have no business to take away a life, but in extreme cases we have to do that.
Kalam also backed the need for a uniform civil code and pushed for simultaneous polls in the country, saying it would lead to better governance.
I have a dream, very impractical dream you would say. The dream is Panchayat election, state election and parliament election, same day will be held. Then you all will have a lot of time to do work.
He shared a good rapport with leaders across the political spectrum and often adopted a paternal role with them.
Laluji, I know him very well. I have worked with him many times when you were the railway minister. So railway works full efficiency, 100% efficiency. He is one of the great leaders of Bihar. I am sure himself and Nitish Kumar ji will join together, bring the prosperity for Bihar. Politics equal to political politics plus developmental politics. The political politics you have to fight for really get elected for assembly or parliament. Development politics, you have to say 7 to 10 years India become a developed nation, Bihar or UP become a developed state. But you are supposed to work on development politics 70% of the time, 30% of the time political politics. Reverse we are doing, that is 70% political politics and 30% development politics.
In 2007, he was keen to continue for a second term.
Do you have, as you demit office, do you have regrets or do you feel a sense of fulfillment now?
No, you see, I found the president, his way of thinking. If he thinks big, definitely he can make the nation. For example, India 2020 vision.
Yes.
You know, it has become now the very important mission. Pura is a very important mission.
However, he did not have the support of the left, the Shiv Sena and UPA leaders, and rather than get involved in the politics of voting, decided to not contest the polls.
Basically, I'm a teacher. Teaching calling me, come. So as soon as I finish my term, July 2007, I'll be with my students.
Kalam then became a visiting professor at IIMs across India and served as Chancellor of the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology in Thiruvananthapuram. As a leading scientific voice in India, people often turn to him for reassurance and advice.
The father of India's missile program, former President APJ Abdul Kalam, has reached Kulam in Tamil Nadu to mediate in the nuclear plant row. Dr. Kalam is planning to meet the locals who are opposing the project as well as the plant scientists to discuss safety issues. This comes at a time when the protests have intensified for the closure of the plant.
2000 megawatt power of electricity for this nation, very, very important. So the time has come. We have to work that to see that the power generation every day 2000 megawatt power. It's very important.
You believe the people are protesting because of misconceptions?
Well, I try to explain how the safety are established there, and because I'm convinced. This is the second time I visit. I saw the systems are in place. So nuclear power plants, the new nuclear power plants are ready. We must start functioning.
In 2012, his name was once again proposed for the president's post.
After some time you ask me.
Sir, but sir, you are the people's president, it said. You are the people's president, everybody says.
They are saying.
Yeah.
You ask them.
कौन आदमी कह सकता है जो एपीजे कलाम को पसंद नहीं करेंगे? अगर एपीजे कलाम का नाम पे आप डायरेक्ट भी इलेक्शन करो तो आपको देखना है कि हिंदुस्तान का जनता उसको ही सपोर्ट करेंगे.
Despite Mamta's open support, Kalam refused a second stint as president.
Sir, just one question, sir.
I now teaching. I'm going for teaching.
Sir, whom do you consider the best candidate between Pranab Mukherjee and P.A. Sangha?
You are asking politics.
Kalam continued with his academic pursuits, publishing 17 books and working as a visiting professor.
Knowledge makes you great. Mahan, it will make you Mahan.
It was during a lecture at IIM Shillong in July 2015 that he collapsed and passed away due to a cardiac arrest. His death brought an outpouring of grief across the nation, from politicians to the Aam Aadmi mourning his demise.
पूरे देश के लिए और विश्व की वैज्ञानिक आलम के लिए एक बहुत ही दुखद समाचार है. राष्ट्रपति के रूप में उनका कार्य, उनका जीवन, उनकी हर बात देश के लिए आज भी दिशादर्शक है.
कलाम साहब सिर्फ महामहिम ही नहीं हम लोगों ने बनाया था, बल्कि वो बड़े भारी वैज्ञानिक थे. खास करके डिफेंस के मामले में ऐसे विद्वान और साइंटिस्ट हमारे बीच में नहीं रहे.
My endeavors is to mention his humbleness. Apart from humbleness, he has a mighty mind. He has a mighty mind.
जितने भी यंगस्टर्स हैं, जितने भी लोग हैं, उनके लिए एक आइडियल रोल मॉडल है.
भारत के नहीं पूरे विश्व के बहुत बड़े आदमी थे. ऐसे आदमी शायद ही कभी कभी पैदा होते जो हम लोग के इंडिया के लिए इतने बड़े आदमी होके भी हम लोग का यहाँ छोटा सा मेघालय राज्य में भी वो प्यार करते थे. यहाँ के नॉर्थ ईस्ट के खासकर.
After his death, Wheeler Island, a national missile test site in Odisha, was renamed Abdul Kalam Island, and Delhi's Aurangzeb Road was christened Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Road to memorialize the humble leader. Through the years, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam encouraged scientific curiosity, a modern outlook, and humane administration. With his humility and simplicity, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam leaves behind a legacy of an ambitious visionary who left a deep impact on India's scientific community and ignited a million minds.